Hey everybody, John Ploskina here, and I was reminiscing with an old friend and we uncovered an old memory that I want to share with you guys because it was a crucial part of how I got out of the Information Ghetto. So I want to teach you how to see things like this at a smaller scale in your own life, because this pattern of behavior is really destructive and I would like to see it opposed not just at the national level but everywhere, even in small places like this. So of course I went to a snooty kind of private high school, and I really hated the school paper. It was really garbage. It was bland and boring and didn't really cover anything that anybody was genuinely interested in, and basically nobody read it. So in a situation like that, there's only one thing that you can do, and of course that is to join the staff of the paper and slowly take over and then remake it in your own image, and that's what I did. And on my second year on the staff, I became editor of the paper, and I was told that I had free reign to do pretty much anything I wanted with it. And I started revamping everything. I personally started writing political editorials. I got some students to start drawing cartoons. We even started running movie reviews and articles about things that students would be interested in. I tried to make the paper something that you'd actually want to pick up and read. And it was pretty successful. People liked what we did with it. So one day, one of my intrepid reporters brought me a story that she'd been working on. She discovered that the school had received some donations and that they were planning to use the money to build a statue with a little garden around it. It was going to cost about $10,000. And she was a little bit upset about that because the infrastructure in the school that's actually used by the students was starting to decay and break down, and she thought that that money could have been better spent on things that would actually benefit the students there. So we printed her article along with her opinion and some man-on-the-street style quotes from students and others from the school, because the general consensus of pretty much everybody that we told this to was the same. That there was better things to spend the money on, and that students and even some of the faculty didn't really want this statue. So I thought that there would be a public debate about what to do with the money, and that ultimately the statue probably wouldn't be built, and that what we would get instead is some kind of improvement to the infrastructure of the school. I was pretty naive and wet behind the ears, huh? Of course, what really happened was the administrators recalled the issue. They made us reprint it without that article present, and they didn't want to acknowledge any questions or have any kind of debate with the students about what the money was going to be spent on. The statue was ultimately built. People were a little bit upset for a little while, and then everybody kind of forgot about it, but not me. I was kind of upset, and ultimately I quit. I stopped editing the school paper because I didn't want to be part of it under circumstances like that. And it wasn't too long before I figured out that the mainstream media pretty much functions under the same constraints. The New York Times is no different than my high school paper was, and the politicians and the big corporate officers who really control this content serve the role of the administrators. It is like this everywhere around the world all the time at pretty much every scale. Powerful people want to control the flow of information, because if they can control the public narrative, if they can control what you think about what's happening in the world, then they can get what they want and they don't have to worry about what you want. Alright, so here's a pop quiz for you. Why don't they teach stuff like this in schools? Why isn't there a textbook that's kind of like my Information Ghetto documentary that can teach children about how you need to look past what's in the news because it's a corporate construct, and this content reflects the biases of the people who own the corporations that release this information? What do you think? If you guessed because the schools are part of the Information Ghetto and serve the same purpose, go to the head of the class. And that's all I got. It's a harsh world out there, my friend, so please keep thinking and keep asking questions about what you see in the media. Bye-bye.